Hey everybody, Danny here with Into Fly Fishing, and today we're taking a look at the Snowbee Thistledown 2 to 5 weight floating fly line. Now this is a really unique product and I had a great chance to test it out, and I'm excited to tell you guys my thoughts. So sit back and enjoy. Okay, so before we get to the performance of this fly line, let's take a look at the makeup. Now first, when you receive this line, you'll get it in the traditional Snowbee line packaging, and once you open it up, it'll be spooled on this cylinder. I currently have it spooled on the Snowbee Spectre 3 to 4 weight reel, and within that cylinder, you'll receive the Snowbee Fly Line Slick. Again, product that many companies don't choose to send along with their fly lines, and Snowbee decided to do it to just put themselves a step ahead of the others in the fly line game. And you put a little bit of this on your fly line and it's going to make it so it slides through those guides really nicely. You won't feel any of it getting hung up on your guides as you're casting and things like that. So just another small nice feature that sets Snowbee apart. So the Snowbee Thistledown 2 to 5 weight line is 90 feet long, and the running line is 55 feet 6 inches. There's a 4-foot rear taper, an 18-foot line belly, and the front compound taper is 12 feet 6 inches long. Now with 90 feet, you can spool this on anywhere from a 2 to 5 weight reel, and it's going to fit nicely on there. Obviously, you'll probably just add more backing depending on how large your reel is that you're using. But 90 feet is very standard for fly line, so you aren't sacrificing length if you're going with a smaller reel or if you need to use it on a bit of a larger reel. The nanotechnology on the Snowbee Thistledown 2 to 5 weight fly line has made it to be soft but also very long lasting. And the braided core technology has a really impressive float rate. It sits very high on the water column, and just that extra coating around it ensures that durability and that high float rate. So Snowbee put a lot of research and technology into this fly line, and it absolutely pays off. So where should you use this fly line and what is it best for? And that's the thing. Most fly lines are made for a very specific purpose. That is, whether it's a sink tip line that you need to use when you're targeting salmon because you need to get down quickly, or it's a very delicate line that you should really only use when you're fishing those high alpine streams where you need to lay your flies down gently. But this 2 to 5 weight line is versatile, and within the world of fly line, versatility is not a word you often use. It's specific is really the key terms in a lot of fly lines. But Snowbee took the opposite approach and said, hey, let's make something versatile. And again, you can use this anywhere from a 2 weight to a 5 weight reel and rod, and that is just kind of mind-blowing, to be honest with you. And I was able to use this on a 2, 3, and 5 weight rod, and I'll tell you that this performed really well on all 3. But you don't sacrifice power, you don't sacrifice any of the makeup of this line whenever you put it on a 2 to a 5 weight reel. And let's say you're fishing a river that has some really tight, skinny portions where you're fishing pocket water and you just need to do quick roll casts and hit those spots, let it drift through, and then maybe you turn the corner and you find that the river's widened out to 35, 40, 50 feet, and you see fish rising halfway through the river or even towards the other bank, and you need to hit those spots. That's what this line is created for. Use it in those small, tight little pockets, and if you really need to air it out with those true back casts, then this is a great line for you. And again, versatility, not super common in the fly fishing industry when it comes to fly line, but Snowbee made up their mind to make that happen for us, and in my opinion, they did a really great job with that. And if you need to carry 2 rods because you know where you're fishing, maybe you go from a bit wider, medium size, smaller river to those tight little tributaries, and you carry 2 rods with you. You can easily put the same reel on both rods, and whether you're using the 2 or 3 weight for a tributary and the 4 or 5 weight for that smaller medium sized river, just switch out that reel onto either rod and you really won't notice a difference in performance or anything. It's going to respond to really exactly what you need it to respond to. Now, the performance of this line, how does it perform? So I started the day fishing this line on a 2-weight rod. Now, 2-weight rods, as you know, created for finesse angling. And finesse anglers are really picky with just how everything feels. Often they've been using the same equipment for years because even though it may not be the most high-end or fancy equipment, they know how it feels, that you have a good feel for it and it catches fish. And on that 2-weight rod, I really was impressed with how this did, even compared to the 2-weight line that I've been using for quite a while. And I was really shocked for a variety of reasons, but the main one being is this line is powerful. I fished with this line on a 15 to 25 mile per hour wind day, gusty, just terrible finesse angling conditions, but I was really impressed with how this did. It's powerful, powerful line. And I can honestly say it's one of the best feeling lines I've had as it runs through your hand, as it runs through the guides. There's no hang up at all. And just a few back casts and you'll just feel that line shoot through those guides, hit that opposite bank if need be. And even with the wind causing as much problem as it should have, I was able to get through it pretty much with no problem. And I moved it up to my 3-weight rod that I've used for years. It was one of the first rods I ever bought, and I have a very specific setup for that, and I figured let's give it a try on that. And again, just powerful line. I had to get used to just toning it back a little bit. I didn't need as much power to get as much line out. I could be more touchy and picky with where I wanted to hit my spots, didn't have to work as hard. And I even put this up onto a 5-weight rod. I didn't have super high expectations, to be honest with you, because how can a line really be versatile? And it took a little more effort to get this line out, to get it rolling, but again, it took some just getting used to the feel of it. But you were able to still hit those casts I was able with my other 5-weight line that I'd been using on my setup for quite a while. And that's the unique aspect of this. It's going to take getting used to how much power you need to put into your casting or how little of power you need to put into your casting, but you can hit those same spots as you would with any other 2, 3, 4 weight line. And again, I was skeptical at first, I really was, but I have found something pretty unique with this line, and I'm excited to not have to carry around 3 reels, 3 different rods if I'm fishing a variety of water conditions. I can bring this reel along, maybe 1 or 2 rods, and it's going to do the job. You can string it on a 4 or 5 weight reel if you want. This is a 3-4 weight, so it's a little bit smaller. So if you need a better balance on your rod, you can up the size of the reel to counteract that a little bit. And then the float rate was the other thing I was really curious about. Since it is a thinner presentation, I wasn't sure if it was just gonna fall in the water if I used a bit heavier nymph or even a dry fly that took on quite a bit of water and sinks as it gets more wet. And again, it performed better than I thought it would. It sat high on the water, really easy to see. This is a nice color, and it doesn't slap the water when it hits. A lot of the dry floating lines that you use are going to slap the water, cause all sorts of commotion, fish are out of there before you can even really start fishing. And this lays down nicely. It doesn't pull your fly down and smack the water with that. It allows that whole smooth process to unfurl. And again, I was being too aggressive with it, so I was getting too much line out. I was hitting the opposite bank too much. I was not being as gentle, but that just took getting used to. And the more I used it, the more I still found it had those finesse features, but could combine that with the versatility and power that you need if you're fishing it on a 4 or 5 weight setup. So just like any other type of fly fishing equipment, it's how you use it. Yes, there's differences in elite fly fishing equipment compared to lower end fly fishing equipment, but the more you get comfortable with what you're using, the better off it'll be for you. And Snowbee found something really unique with this, and you even have the welded loops on it on both sides, so you attach it to the backing. It has the tag on there, shows you where to attach the backing. Really easy to attach leader to it, and off you go. Again, the skepticism was high for me with this line, and it really performed better than I could even think it would. And I'm really pleased with that, and I cannot wait to really include this into my arsenal here once fishing season gets into full swing. So the Snowbee Thistledown 2 to 5 weight fly line is going to cost you $79. Now, if you think about it, you're essentially getting almost 2 fly lines in one. So for $79, this is a wonderful option. And for me, I would pay that easily for this fly line. You can pay $150 for a decent fly line. So half that price, that's going to perform in a variety of different weights. Really a no-brainer. You can actually purchase this Thistledown line in 1 to 4 weight, 2 to 5 weight, 5 to 7 weight. Now, if you fish primarily lightweight finesse setups, 1, 2, 3 weight rods and reels, I would recommend the 1 to 4 weight. If you fish 3, 4, 5 weight rods but hang out in that 3 to 4 weight quite a bit, then I would recommend the 2 to 5 weight line. And if you're looking to fish your 5, 6, 7 weight rod, whether you're throwing bigger dry flies or larger nymphs and streamers, then I would recommend the 5 to 7 weight line. So essentially find that middle portion of the line options, so the 2 or 3 weight for the 1 to 4, the 3 or 4 weight for the 2 to 5, and the 5, 6 weight for the 5 to 7, and that's going to be the sweet spot for this line. Overall, I was impressed with this line. Again, a tall task to claim that this can spread across 3 different weight sizes, and it does. If you are an angler that wants to spend more on rods and less on reels and line, then this is a perfect line for you. And if you fish on those small to medium rivers but also jump between tributaries and you're kind of all over the place on a day of fishing and you don't have time to switch everything out as you go, another just great option for you. It's from a company that's been making fly line for the better part of 30 years, been in existence for 40 years, so reputable company. They put a lot of effort into this line, and I think it absolutely pays off. So highly recommend this line. And if you like this video and you want to see more along the lines of reviews, then make sure to head over to our YouTube page and subscribe.